So glad you could be with us. Joining me now is Heather Burke. She's co-founder and president of Girltank. Girltank is a community of female social innovators. It's also an accelerator that provides women with access to resources such as funding, among other things. Thank you so much for being with us, Heather.
Thanks so much for having me.
So tell us about Girltank. Tell us a little bit more.
Absolutely. So Girltank was founded to support female social entrepreneurs and innovators in the early stages of their enterprises. What we found when we started Girltank with over 800 interviews of women innovators and entrepreneurs that they struggled with the same three things. It didn't matter where she lived, where she came from, or what she was doing with her business, that female innovators were struggling to access capital, access ecosystems of support networks to help them start and run their businesses, and they were often working in isolation. And what we saw with those three factors, over time, it became a cyclical nature of doors closing, when they couldn't access the capital, the networks, and the peer support groups to help them with their businesses. So we thought, we can't afford to lose another voice. We have to start a think tank for female social entrepreneurs, and that's how Girltank started.
Yeah, you say your mission is to connect, inspire, and fund.
Yes.
Kind of what you just said, but funding is such a crucial piece of this. You know, I've spoken to women entrepreneurs, females, who have had such a hard time securing funding.
Right.
So why, can you tell us about the difficulties that they're experiencing, and then also, you know, how Girltank helps in that regard?
Well, you know, to run a business, you need capital, right?
Yeah.
And for our entrepreneurs, they're focused on the social side of business. So how can you create a business that addresses a specific social need? And there's a hard selling point. It's getting easier to sell on the social return on investment when starting a business, but it's still an uphill battle for many entrepreneurs, including women. And the specific gender component of enterprise or venture creation is really critical for us, and especially in this cyclical nature of capital starvation, which we see in the very early stages of venture creation when an entrepreneur is trying to make the business case for why their business is important, why people should be investing in it. And the gender component is this double bind.
Yeah.
And we see it, whether you're a social entrepreneur or you're a capital entrepreneur, you're a woman in business, we see this double bind, this you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't, right? And what that means for women who are standing up for social causes, many of them are causes and businesses that directly support women and girls around the world. They're seeing the effects of gender stereotypes, barriers, norms, discriminatory environments, customs, laws, and practices, sometimes oppressive ones, that stymie, stunt, or stall the ability for entrepreneurs to thrive themselves and for their businesses to thrive. And all of this amounts to a pressure point that creates a very difficult environment for women to access capital. And so that's why we're here. We're here to stand for those women, stand for their vision and their missions, raise the visibility of what they do, and ensure that they are inserted in a pipeline where they can access the right kind of funding so that they don't have to close the doors of their businesses.
That's key.
That's key.
That's key, yeah. Tell us about some of the notable entrepreneurs or projects that you've helped support through Girltank.
Oh, there's so many.
I know.
There's
Okay,
so
so
many.
Pick two.
So hard. Okay, so I'm gonna pick two. I'm gonna go from San Francisco to India.
Perfect.
Okay,
so two places that are dear to my heart.
Okay, so I'll start in San Francisco with Denise Sandoval. She started a business called Lavame, and it's so cool.
I know this
you
business.
Probably know,
yes.
You probably know her, right?
Yes, continue, sorry.
Okay, so just very quickly, you know, Denise is one of those entrepreneurs, and what we see time and time again with the women in our network is that they've started a business because something has touched them personally in their lives. So Denise, age 16, her family almost lost everything. And she said, okay, I have an opportunity to use an unused resource in San Francisco, public buses that have gone unused, and turn them into mobile showers for the homeless. It's all about dignity, it's all about respect and creating opportunity and breaking down barriers. That's Denise Sandoval, Lavame, San Francisco.
Okay.
Then all the way in India, we have Arti Nayak. Arti Nayak grew up in a slum in Mumbai. One of the many stories of young women who get trapped in a cycle of poverty, and the pain point being a lack of access to education, which is really a driver to remove women and girls from poverty. She said, hey, there's something that I can do in my town, in my slum, and I know that through education, through Saki Girls Rising, that is her venture, that I can raise not only myself but other young girls in my community out of the cyclical nature of poverty. And that's what she did. She runs a school for girls in her slum in Mumbai, and it's very successful.
That's wonderful. Those are two great examples. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having me. It's great to be here.